Sometimes you can break someone's heart without even knowing that person. Sometimes you break their heart unintentionally. And while in the moment, heartache does hurt, some heartache you can look back on and laugh. This is another heartbreaking story of a hopeless romantic. Let's reminisce. So, ninth grade, Duncanville, Texas. Now, in Duncanville, there were two middle schools. But in ninth grade, everyone came together and attended the ninth grade school. And me being the hopeless romantic that I am, I'm extremely excited. I mean, there's an influx of new girls that I've never seen, new opportunities, maybe a chance to reinvent myself. They have no idea who I am. Now, I've been in public school for 2 years, so I'm starting to get the hang of and understand the societal norms that exist with public school. Now, early on in ninth grade, there were the girls that rose to the top, if you will, the girls that all the guys liked and all the guys wanted to be with. And I knew early on it would be futile to even try to pursue one of them. But there was one girl in particular who caught my eye. Her name was Angel. Now, Angel actually attended the same middle school as I did, but I didn't really notice her until ninth grade. The problem with Angel was that she was inseparable from her best friend, April. Wherever Angel went, there was April. Unless they had separate classes, they were never apart. Angel had a pretty good defense system. So I knew that I had to come up with a different approach in order to get Angel to notice me. So, ninth grade English class, we read the story of Cyrano de Bergerac. And for those of you who don't know, Cyrano was an unattractive man who had the most beautiful words in the world. And long story short, he was able to make a woman fall in love with him simply through his words. So, ninth grade James thought, this is a brilliant idea. At the time, I had been dabbling in writing poems and poetry. Once I learned the different styles of poetry in eighth grade, things like that, I sort of gravitated to that. And I really enjoyed writing poems and writing poetry. So I came up with the brilliant idea one day that I would write Angel one poem a day for an entire week. So 5 poems. And the final poem on, I didn't know if I was going to do it on Friday or if I was going to do an entire poem set Monday through Friday, and then on the following Monday, write a poem revealing who was this mystery author. But I was going to write Angel poems and slide them into her locker. So my plan was to write the poems, get to school early, run to her locker, slide the poems in, and run away before anyone saw me. Now, each poem had the word angel in it. And I remember I worked very hard on those. I mean, almost harder than I did on like my homework. I would wanted the poems to be perfect. So Monday, wrote the first poem. I don't quite remember the name, but Tuesday, wrote another poem with the word angel in it or in the title. Wednesday, Thursday. And so I get to Friday and slide the poem in on Friday, and I sort of hung around a little bit just to, see if Angel would, if she was getting the poem, see what her reaction was. Now, of course, I'm thinking that she's going to be smitten by my words and just looking forward to the new poems and things like that. So I slide in the final poem, and I'm really excited to see how she responds. And now I do know that, you know what, it was that I was going to reveal myself on Monday, because on that Friday, for some reason, I remember the title of this poem. It was called Angel in the Sky. And I went to my English class. Went to the English class, and I came out from English, and we're in between classes, going to our next class. And I hear my poem being read aloud by a guy. Angel, angel in the sky, I want us to be together so that we can fly high. I know that you do not know who I may be, but please one day grant me this wish so our souls can both be free. I know it was cheesy, but hey, I was in 9th grade and I thought it was amazing. But I hear this guy reading my poem, and I'm like, how? This poem was specifically and exclusively written for Angel. Why do you have it, and how did you get it? Now, the guy who was reading it was not known for his intelligence. It almost was like the Cyrano de Bergerac story. He was a guy who was considered good looking by most of the girls, but for all intents and purposes was dumb. So I went up to him and I was like, man, that's a nice poem. I was like, I didn't know you wrote poetry. Just trying to see what he would say. He's like, oh no, I don't. I was like, so did you write this? He's like, nah. He said, man, every day this whole week, there's been a poem in the trash by my locker. Every day? Yeah. Every day I go and there's a poem. It's not crumpled up. It's just folded up and in the trash. Man, I've been keeping these. I've been turning these in. I've been getting some great grades off of this. Man, this is amazing. I might have to take a poetry for real. Guys, Angel had been throwing my poems away. And again, I experienced the heartache and the pain because I had thought this through and I had planned this out. And this is not the way things were supposed to happen. I never told Angel that I was the one who wrote the poems. I never said anything, but I'm glad that I can look back on this situation and laugh about it. But in the moment, oh, that hurt. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you for listening. Peace, and God bless.